All right, so welcome once again. Thanks for joining us. Here is another student. We'll let them in. All right, Carlo, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We are just getting going, so you are not missing anything. But yeah, tonight we're talking about the integrated curriculum, learning what that word means, how it pertains to you. There will be time and place for you to ask questions about maybe classes or what does a typical schedule look like. So the idea and focus of this webinar is to get a really good idea of kind of what your academic course load is going to look like, both for your major and for the integrated curriculum. So my name is Chris Binder. I am a first-year admission counselor here at Elmhurst. So I work with first-year students, and I actually just graduated from Elmhurst this past spring. So I went through the whole curriculum, and I know it pretty well because I just went through it. So any questions you have, shoot them my way. We can do those at the end, but as they come up, feel free to send them in the chat and we will answer questions at the end. So without further ado, I am going to present here and we'll get rolling. All right, so those are kind of the main pieces, like I said, we'll be talking about tonight. So this first slide really just kind of gives you a good statement that shows what the direction is and the reason why we have an integrated curriculum. So some schools will call them different things, but all our integrated curriculum really means is the general education classes, or gen eds, that we ask you to take as part of the Elmhurst curriculum. We've identified a couple different areas, 9 specifically, that we deem valuable and important to make you a well-rounded individual, to help inspire you to grow intellectually, personally, and prepare for meaningful and ethical work. So I think there's this idea that when you graduate from high school and you go to college, right, I'm not taking any more classes that don't have anything to do with what I want to do the rest of my life. And while that's not entirely true, having a major, yes, is more specific, more narrow path, but almost every school you all are looking at will have some sort of gen ed, liberal arts component where they're going to ask you to take some classes that are a little bit different than your major. So I think that at first this can be, daunting, and you can think, oh no, just like high school again, I have to take a math class or a science class. But you actually get a lot of freedom to choose in these different areas. And I think that students taking classes in each of these areas really gives you a well-rounded kind of global mindset and approach. And the things you learn, right, you get to choose what class you want to take in each of these areas. The things you learn, who knows, may come to help you, in your future career. So we'll break them down more here as we go. But that mission statement there, you all could read for yourself, just kind of getting a better idea of what it is. So we're seeking to prepare students to be lifelong learners, right? Developing in a global society. So key word is global there. All right. So let's see here. So the Elmhurst University integrated curriculum consists of a couple of different subheaders. So there's areas of knowledge, there's tags, there's subject proficiencies, and then there's experiential learning. Then outside of that, there is the major course requirements, so your specialized courses. So this curriculum outline here is gonna basically be the consistency of all of your classes in your time here at Elmhurst. So we'll break these down here as we go. All right, so in the areas of knowledge subheader, right? So these are the 9 different subcategories that you will take one class in. Now it's important to note that each one you get a lot of freedom to choose a class of, whatever your liking is. So I'll use religious studies in context as an example. So some students might think, oh, well, I guess I have to take a Christian class or maybe a New Testament class, but you actually have freedom to choose from all of our different religious-based classes. So we have Intro to Islam, we have Study of the Quran, We have Intro to Judaism, World Religions. So there's a lot of really great classes. So you can really explore those new areas maybe that you're not familiar with. Fine arts, same thing. You know, there's options, not only a drawing or a painting class, but you can take an acting class, or you can take a movies class and learn about film throughout history. So all really cool options. You have access to all of these really different different courses to really follow something that interests you, you know, not something you have to take, which is really nice. So in terms of these different subheaders, so each one kind of comes with, this is kind of the reasoning behind how we chose these subheadings. So the ethics and justice, we're looking for students to gather, you know, an evaluative perspective of social justice, learning what that looks like. In religious studies and context, we're looking for students to be well-rounded in terms of religion and just different traditions. Literature, we're looking for you to just have proficiency and competency in language and creative language and how culture has influenced that. And the fine arts, we're just looking for you to explore kind of the creative mindset and kind of the creative side of your brain. So those are some of our logic there with those. And then as for the other ones here, so history, just understanding the relevancy of the past, the present day, you know, things and topics that have happened and occurred. We're looking at the social and political analysis, so looking just to have a better understanding of just some social issues, maybe political, economic things that are going on in our country, having a better idea of just what that looks like. And then for cognitive and behavioral science, just understanding human thoughts. So this could be maybe like a psychology class, an intro to psych class, really whatever your interests are, learning how individual thought influences behavior in society. So all very different, but also similar in a sense. These two are going to be very similar, your physical science and your life science. The main difference here is when you think of a physical science, think of something concrete, right? So like maybe like an atmospheric science class, or maybe some sort of class that studies geography, or you know, different rocks and things like that, kind of more of a concrete science. And then your life science is going to be more like your biology, the chemistry, kind of the study of living systems, things like that. So, all right, so those were areas of knowledge, right? So this is all the integrated curriculum. We got the areas of knowledge, and we have the skills and value development tags. So these tags are kind of like, think of them as like mini gen eds that are intertwined most of the time with your major classes and with your areas of knowledge. So most students will earn all of these tags through taking one of those classes, whether it be a history class or a communications class. And all of these are looking for different skills to show that you are proficient in these areas. So oral communication might be something like a public speaking class. Quantitative reasoning could be like a statistics class, or understanding how to kind of critically think about quantity and things like that. Writing at the 300 and 400 level, you're almost all going to get that in your major classes. And then global engagement and domestic engagement, most of those happen during your history classes. Sometimes, for example, myself, I took a American history prior to 1871. So that was my domestic engagement, right? Because domestic is within the United States, global engagement is around the globe. And then your social responsibility, those will come also with some of your upper level classes. So these two, the W and the S, you're going to get most likely during your junior, senior year. This is just kind of explaining more about what we just talked about. Something I think is important for you to know as students that I didn't really know, and maybe this was just, you know, based on my experiences, but when you get to college, the numbers, right? So you see 300 and 400, each number represents a difficulty level and a class level. So 100 is traditional first year student, 200 is sophomore, 300 is junior, 400 is senior. And the numbers actually go up as you go into graduate studies. But that's just kind of showing you like maybe the difficulty level and the appropriateness in terms of syncing up with your year in school. So most of the time as a first year student, you're going to take mainly 100, 200 level classes, maybe a 300 level class. And then you'll slowly start to take those 300, 400s your sophomore, junior, and definitely your senior year. All right, so value development tags. So this is just more of the global, domestic, the social responsibility, showing you what they kind of look like, what they might consist of. And then proficiencies. So these are important to note. You're also going to earn these either in your throughout your 4 years at Elmhurst. So every student we have takes a first year seminar class. So you'll hear this referred to as your FYS. When you come to pick your classes at Elmhurst, right? When you know you're coming here, you pick out your classes and you'll pick an FYS if you're a traditional freshman student. And each first year seminar will have a subject head, but the subject head really isn't the focus. It really just gives a baseline foundation for what you'll talk about in the class a little bit. The main focus of this class is kind of like a college 101. So it really is an entry level, really learning the lay of the land, understanding how Elmhurst works, how you can use all the different resources that we have in place for you as a student throughout your 4 years. And you'll take this class first semester of your freshman year. So it's super comprehensive, very supportive. You have a lot of support from your faculty and staff in this class. Then your English 105 and 106. So those are your base level composition classes. Some students will come to us with maybe AP English credit, or if you've taken a composition class at a community college, we'll take that oftentimes to cover these proficiencies. But this just lets us know that you have competency in a college level writing abilities. Math proficiency. So we will have you take a math proficiency test. As long as you pass the proficiency test and you are like a non-math major, you really are not required to take any math at Elmhurst. If you want to earn a bachelor's in science, you will be asked to take one math course outside of your major. Every other bachelor degree is going to be a bachelor's in arts unless you choose to add on that bachelor's in science. Obviously, with the exception of if you're a bio major or chemistry major, those are going to be, bachelor's in sciences because the math is built into the major requirements. Foreign language proficiency, 2 years. 2 years is all you need from your high school, or if you take a language at a community college or you transfer from somewhere else, 2 years of that foreign language. We will have you take a proficiency exam upon registering for classes. If you've already taken your 2 years, don't worry. Taking the exam doesn't mean we're going to make you take a language here and we're lying to you. What it means is that we ask you to take the exam to see where you're at in terms of the language that you're most proficient in. And that is in case you ever want to add on a minor, or maybe you want to add a major, maybe in Spanish. So we know where to place you in terms of your abilities and capabilities. Then the experiential learning component, most of the time that's going to be built into one of your courses, but this is just some level of volunteer hours. And it can be anything from some community service you do at an internship even. We're very flexible with what this component looks like. It's not really something that you have to go out and do and find yourself because it will be built into one of your courses. And then there's your senior capstone. So every student that, majors, whatever your major is, there's going to be some sort of senior capstone. So that capstone is really going to show you it's a wrap up of your major. And you will have some sort of research project maybe, or final paper to write to show that you are knowledgeable and proficient in whatever your major was. So yes, that's what the capstone is there. All right, so go ahead and put your majors in the chat, or maybe your interested majors, just so I got an idea of just kind of what we're working with here, and would love to hear and what you all are interested in. But this slide here is showing us what all of our traditional undergraduate majors are. So We have over 70 plus majors that we offer here at Elmhurst, a really wide variety of majors that we offered with some new additions, which is pretty cool. The computer game and entertainment technology is one of our newest majors. So that is something we're very excited about. We know that computer gaming is something that really is growing and is kind of a big interest of definitely high school students and all young adults. Some of our big majors, I would say the biggest ones here at Elmhurst are going to be education, nursing, music is huge, and business, as well as psychology is actually has a pretty big following. So yeah, looks like we have some nursing or elementary ed, haven't decided, both great choices, fantastic. Poli-sci / education, yeah, poli-sci is great. A good friend of mine that I graduated with, she is currently in law school at Indiana University. She was a political science major. So she felt like she was super well prepared for law school in terms of the political science major at Elmhurst. So if you see one on there that you like, if you don't know yet, I want to tell you right now that that's okay. It's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to not know. One of the most popular majors in college is undecided. So it's okay to come in as an undecided or undeclared major. Most students will change their major at some point. I did it myself. I was an exercise science major when I came in, ended up being psychology. So it's okay to kind of shift around and explore those different interests that you have. That's what college is for. And that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you through that process. So, all right. So outside of a major, right, we have pre-professional programs. So this slide is showing you some of the pre-professional programs that we offer at Elmhurst. So these are some of your more upper level, maybe career paths that require additional school than just a 4-year degree. So some here you'll see dentistry, medicine, right? Occupational therapy, physical therapy, optometry, veterinary medicine. So all are going to require either an additional at least 2 years, if not 3 or 4 years, sometimes even 5 if you're going to med school. So these are all options and tracks that you can choose as a student to be on. And we have an advisor and liaison who will work with you throughout your 4 years here to prepare you for that next step, to go to physical therapy school or to go to maybe veterinary medicine school. And we have a lot of really cool partnership programs with different pre-professional programs. So for example, with veterinary medicine, we have a 3+3 partnership with the University of Illinois School of Veterinary Medicine. So you will come to Elmhurst for 3 years, you'll major in biology. And then from there, you will go to U of I for 3 years, and you will earn your doctorate in veterinary medicine. So you'll get to graduate a year or two early than the average student, and you will have a bachelor's degree and a doctoral degree after 6 years of school, which is a really cool partnership that we have. So little things like that we have to offer to students that really go a long way. So if you have a very specific interest, tell us, let us know, and we will find a program for you and find the best track possible. All right. So just a very general understanding of majors and what a major will look like. So the typical major is going to be 8 to 10 classes. So here at Elmhurst, one class equals 4 credit hours. So I know that can be a little confusing, but I would say the typical student is going to take 3 to 4 classes per semester, or 12 to 16 credit hours. So some schools you go to may function on credit hours, just a small discrepancy in conversion that we have here. So 8 to 10 classes is the average major, right? So it is 32 credits, right, in 4 years to graduate from Elmhurst. So with those 8 to 10 as your major, then you have those AOKs and tags that you'll take, which are the gen eds, right, the integrated curriculum. That's going to be about another probably 8 to 10 classes. And then you must complete half your major while you're at Elmhurst. So that's mainly important for transfer students. We always say, let us know if you've started working towards a major. We can kind of guide you through that process to make sure that you're taking half the major here. Sorry about that. Gotta go back here. So outside of that, right, we have 8 to 10 classes for your major, right? So that's 10. Another 8 to 10 for your gen eds. That's another 10. So now you have like 12 credits, right, to do whatever you want with. So some students, if you're in a program that's a little bit more intense, right, you're not going to have as much leeway. But I'll use myself as an example. Psychology was my major at Elmhurst, and it was about 10 to 11 classes. So took those classes, took my gen eds. I was at, I think, like 20 classes. I still needed another, right, like 12. So I have 3 minors. So I minored in communications, I minored in coaching, and I minored in social work. So it's usually 4 classes to earn a minor, right? So that's about half a major. And minor classes are offered every single semester for the most part. And we offer nearly every major as a minor. There are some discrepancies. We have a few minor specific ones, like coaching is strictly a minor, social work is strictly a minor, music production is strictly a minor. So there's some discrepancies, but for the most part, every major can be converted into a minor. So if you have something you're really passionate about, or you want to go into business. I was working with a student the other day. He knew he wanted to take over his dad's company. He wanted to go into the business world, but he loved music, right? He was really passionate about music and wanted to study music in college. So he was thinking about adding on a music minor. So something cool to think about. Minors they don't have to be, specific to what you want to do. They can be just something that you're interested in or want to be a little bit more skilled in. If you want to have a side hustle in the future, it's nice to have that additional knowledge to put on your resume, but also just have that mindset and that knowledge to take with you into the world. So, all right. So I know that was brief, and we had a few people join us here a little bit towards the end, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just kind of open up the floor to any questions or concerns, thoughts about the integrated curriculum, maybe about your majors, what to expect, anything you all want to know. And I'll stop the recording.